Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to a weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the very first Commitments of Traders report of 2026. However, the report date is actually from last year, December 30th, but it was issued this year. So 2nd of January is when this report was issued. It was just updated by CFTC. Of course, there's still this little bit of lag going on due to the government shutdown, but it seems as we're basically back to normal from now on. So today we're going to be analyzing this very first report. If you are new to COT analysis, then rest assured here at COTBase.com you'll find a lot of educational material on the Commitments of Traders report under this page. If you are interested in New Year deals, we actually have some great deals going on right now that you may want to check out. But let's get back to the review and start off with the Canadian dollar, which as you can see is on top of our list when we order markets based on the largest changes in commercials net position. So 14% change in commercials net positions in the Canadian dollar. Let's open the chart and you can see that change size over there. It is greater than average, but we have seen such changes in the past few weeks now. It is bearish, suggesting further weakness coming. Moving to a 5-year chart, you can see that the last major extreme was actually bullish from the end of last year, pushing the market higher. As it's going higher, of course, we can see the natural tendencies going on, traders shifting their trades, their positions, and we're moving away from those bullish extreme levels. Are we at an extreme, a bearish one? Well, if you look at this past year, 2 years time horizon, I would argue that there is a relative bearish COT extreme. But on this 5 years chart, you can see that there's definitely space for traders to reach even greater extremes than the one we see right now. So it's always hard to pinpoint the exact turning point in the market. COT analysis is kind of a stress level analysis tool. But if you want to get some more tools to help you identify the best times to go in the market, either on the long side or the short side, I would strongly suggest you to check out our new iCOT Intraday Indicator that was developed after many years of research. This is the Canadian dollar, it's the USD Canadian dollar currency pair, and the iCOT Intraday Indicator is a wonderful tool that can actually benefit in the short time frames as well. This is a 1-minute candlestick chart on this market. We're going to add the iCOT Intraday Indicator with AfterSignal. This is a 1-minute chart. You can see how well it caught this bottom over here just now. As you can see, this is a live chart, and how this stripe signal is right now. Seems like it was an effective signal. We got this sell, and now you can see the market is cooling off after this rally. A great tool to supplement this wider time horizon analysis that COT data offers us. Moving on to our next market, copper. We actually just talked about copper. In the most recent review, there was that all-time extreme in the market. We've moved away from that level, giving us a bullish COT change signal. As you can see, the size of this change is greater than average. We have seen similar changes in the past. You can see an example of a successful COT change signal just over here at the bottom. But right now we see a rally happening, of course, overall in metals and getting this bullish change signal. So I'd say the more important signal is this bearish signal from the report. But that being said, you would always need to, or you don't need to, but I would advise you to check other metals as well. to see what those are showing, and we're just going to do that because silver is our next market with an 11% change once again in commercials net position, so a bit larger than average, nothing crazy, suggesting further rallies coming. I think the 5-year chart is more important to us. You can see that we had a bearish extreme back over here in June of last year, but it seems as if it didn't really have an effect on the market. I would argue this may actually be one of those rare commercial capitulation situations where probably mining companies who are hedging in futures markets are getting margin calls, closing their short positions, fueling this rally that's going on. So very, very interesting times in metals overall. Moving on to large speculators COT Extreme analysis, we have the Euro British Pound currency futures on the top of our list with 132 report extreme and large speculators net positions. This is of course a bearish COT extreme, suggesting weakness coming in the next couple of weeks and month ahead of us. One thing I would point out that this is in itself a market, so the Euro British Pound futures contract. And that contract is measured in US dollars, so it's interesting, and I would strongly advise you to look at the euro and look at the British pound futures markets separately from this to identify strength and weakness in these markets. If you are trading, I would not really rely on this market's COT report. Even as it's growing, it's becoming larger and larger. You can see it started around 2014. There wasn't much movement. Then, of course, the market became larger, and you can see we are seeing certain correlations. For instance, over here we had a significant bullish extreme over here as well. So I mean, on its own it can be successfully used, but I do appreciate the fact that we have the euro and the British pound COT data as well. Now we talked about silver and the Canadian dollar, so we're going to jump over those. And okay, so the next market for the review is Swiss franc. You can see we have a 75 report extreme in the Swiss franc. In itself, the 75, it just means that it took 75 reports for traders to reach that level. Okay, so this is a bearish, this is a bullish COT extreme right now as we see it. Commercials close to 50,000 contracts. Net long, you can see that was the case over here. And once again, in this zone, it's interesting to see this more bullish picture from the COT report at these levels. Interestingly, small speculators are not following large speculators, so that may caution us with regard to this bullish picture from commercials and large speculators, because you can see whenever small speculators, or as CFTC calls them, non-reportables, were optimistic or relatively optimistic compared to the rest, that coincided with a top in the market, right? So I would say that it's an interesting mix of signals. Probably small speculators may actually give us a hint on what to expect. So a little bit mixed baggage. Maybe it's a good time to take out the iCOT Intraday Indicator, potentially use it on a daily chart and see the strength over there. Anyways, that's all for this review. If you'd like to go deeper into your analysis, of course, COTBase.com offers all the tools necessary to do that. If you enjoyed this review, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope to see you in my next Commitments of Traders review. Take care. Goodbye.